Hi everyone, I am Petek Köke. The topic of this video is vocabulary to improve your writing. In this video, first I will talk about the importance of increasing vocabulary for writing. Then I will introduce words to show similarity and contrast. So let's start. We all know the importance of improving our vocabulary skills, but do you know why? Now I will mention 4 reasons why vocabulary is so important. First of all, it improves your reading comprehension. It's a well-known fact that students need to understand 98% of the words they read to understand it. Improving vocabulary skills will improve your understanding of textbooks, readers, novels, and reading texts in the exams. Secondly, it is important for your language development. When you develop a rich vocabulary, you'll tend to be deeper thinkers, express yourself better, and read more. Improving language and literacy skills early in life will help them be more successful academically and communicatively. Successful communication or writing about what you think depends on a good vocabulary base. Using the right words when writing makes you a more effective speaker and writer. Thirdly, it helps you express yourself in writing. As I mentioned a second ago, having a good vocabulary can help you write more effectively. You need to use a more formal tone when writing, not conversational language. And to do that, you need a richer vocabulary to tap into those words we don't use when we speak. Lastly, you'll be evaluated on the writing parts of AGE exam, assessment and in general English exam, is your use of English vocabulary. To get higher grade in this part, you need to use a variety of words and phrases. To help you do this, I'll introduce a list of advanced vocabulary items that you can use for different topics. Although all of these words or phrases are synonyms, some are used slightly differently to the main word. For example, they could be used in different parts of the sentence, for example. So, let's start with the description of them by giving example sentences to make sure that you use them correctly. Before starting, there is one thing you need to know. In order to remember them for the exam, you need practice using them as much as possible. So make sure that you create sentences in your own words by using them. You can either write these down or just say them, it's your choice, but try to make as many sentences as you can. Let's look at the advanced words to be used in your written tasks. I'm going to start with the words to show similarity, meaning also. This is used to support an argument or you or another person is making, to give extra reasons or examples and to give extra information about a thing or a person. Although these synonyms have the same meaning as also, what you say when using them is different to what you would say if only using also. For many of them, you have to say what the previous reason or example was directly after using them. In addition to that, many of them will also use also later in the sentences. We will see it in the examples. I'm going to start with the first one, meaning also, which is in addition to. This is normally used to connect or link the information in two sentences together. You follow it by saying what the previous argument you made or piece of information about the thing was. Good university is good for your job prospects in the future. In addition to improving your job prospects, it also helps your intellectual development. You can also use in addition as well, but if you do, you don't follow it by saying what the previous argument you made or a piece of information about the thing was, like in the example. Going to university is good for your job prospects in the future. In addition, followed by a comma, it also helps your intellectual development. Let's continue the other one. On top of. This is used in exactly the same way as you use in addition to, but it is less formal. We missed the train, and on top of that, it started snowing. The next one is besides. This can be used to both connect or link two pieces of information together in the same sentence and connect or link the information in two sentences together. Like in the example, the author's wife was a good editor besides being a great writer herself. As you can see, we can add extra information to something. The next one is not only but also. I think this is highly academical. This is normally used to connect two pieces of information again, but in the same sentence. If you use it, you need to use a question-like structure, just like in the example. Not only was it raining all day at the wedding, but also the bus was late. You can also use it with a noun phrase, like in the second example. If this project fails, it will affect not only our department, but also the whole organization. Let's continue with along with. This is again used to connect or link two pieces of information together in the same sentence. Look at this example. California, along with Florida and Hawaii, is among the most popular US tourist destinations. Or, along with length of procedure measurements, we investigated patient comfort. The next one is as well as. You can also connect two pieces of information together in the same sentence. This is also less formal. We have a responsibility to our community as well as to our families. Or, just like in the second example, you can use it like this. The packaging, comma, as well as the new concept, comma, is going to be on your desk by tomorrow. This was the end of words showing similarity. Now we will move to the second part, words to show contrast. The word although is commonly used to say there is a contradiction between a situation. It was raining and what happened or will happen, I went for a walk. The word although and its synonyms are always used in front of the situation, like although it was raining. This is different to another word used for making contrast, but. With but, we use it in front of what happened or will happen, like but I went for a walk. Now, let's start with the first one. Despite the fact that. It is used in exactly the same way as although. Despite, it is a little more formal than the others. Like in the example, despite the fact that most people are very worried about global warming, very few people are willing to change things in their life in order to stop it. You can also use despite, but if you do, it should only be followed by a noun or a noun phrase like heavy rain or the film. Let's look at the example in the second sentence. Despite the film being nearly 3 hours long, as you can see, this is a noun phrase, I never looked at my watch while watching the film in the cinema. The next one, to show contrast, you can use in spite of the fact that. You can use it to express a contrast between two things. When they arrived in London, it was hot. in spite of the fact that it was only the end of April. You can also use it like in spite of, followed by a noun phrase. In spite of the film being nearly 3 hours long, I never looked at my watch while watching the film in the cinema. And there is another example used with in spite of. He was very fast in spite of being terribly overweight. As you can see, it is also followed by a noun phrase. Next one is even though. It is used to say that something may not be what we expect. Even though gives more emphasis than although. Though it was rainy, we put on our jackets and went for a walk. You can also use even though or though. They have all the same meaning. Now I have introduced the words to show similarity and the words to show contrast. In the next video, in video part 2, I'm going to talk about words to give reasons, words to explain results, words to explain contradiction, and words to explain differences. This was the end of my video. Thanks for watching. For further information, you can visit our website. Thanks for joining my class online. See you in the next video.